Okay, so the Rise of Skywalker stuff is kind of winding down. There's still a few things that come out here and there, but there's a couple things I want to talk about. Notably, they're finally going to get surpassed this weekend. You got 1917 coming out. It actually looks like a really good movie. This will be the first time that they've faced serious competition. It's like literally for a few weeks when this movie came out, other than Jumanji, every studio's like, we're just going to get out of your way. Jumanji's like, nah, we smell your crap. We're just going to go ahead and release. Imagine if like two other really good movies had released with Jumanji and Star Wars. I think it would be a vastly different picture because the movie's not very good. It's got a lot of problems, and I think a lot of people can at least agree that the movie doesn't make sense on a lot of areas. And that's one thing that I want to talk about. So there's a lot of plot holes in Rise of Skywalker, a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. And there's a lot of details they leave out. And it seems like, well, you want to know what happens here? Well, you need to go buy this novel. You need to go buy this companion book. You need to go read these comic books. It's like, well, we can't just get the main story in the movie. You got to sell extra little tidbits, and that's exactly what they're doing. So they're trying to explain things by making you pay for all of these little extras. And it's like, I seem to remember a lot of this problems in this movie could have been solved if maybe that 30-minute casino scene, that worthless plot at the casino in Last Jedi hadn't been there. Maybe we could have been telling some extra plot points, but I guess that ship has sailed.
You can't stop me, I'm a Jedi from Jakku.
The biggest piece of missing information that everybody wants to know, because it literally made no sense, how is the Emperor still alive? How does he come back? They never tell us. They're like, yeah, we don't need to really reveal that information. It's not really a big deal. We don't need to tell you that. Just accept that he's back. It was really hard for me to get over that because I'm like, well, Anakin took him out, threw him down an elevator shaft, but I guess he's back. And how do they explain it in the movie? Well, they just tell you the same line from Revenge of the Sith, that the dark side is a path to many abilities that people consider unnatural. And it's like, really? You're just going to repeat the same line. Okay, well, that's pretty lazy. Well, good news, everybody. For about $30, you can find out how he came back by picking up the Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary. So you can buy this and you can find out how he came back. I'm gonna tell you, so you don't really need to. Also, remember the Knights of Ren? Want to know where they came from? Make sure you read the Rise of Skywalker companion comic book that has the Rise of Kylo Ren. It's like, man, is this how things are going to go now? You should be able to just watch the movies and learn all this stuff, but not with Disney, because they had no plan. It was a big waste. So how did he come back? Well, according to the Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary, we now know exactly how Emperor Palpatine came back to terrorize the galaxy once more. In the movie, we see that Palpatine had some help from mysterious hooded followers. The book reveals that they are known as the Sith Eternal. Their devotion is what brought them to Exegol in order to revive Palpatine. They were able to bring him back through the use of technology and the occult, which was hinted at on the big screen. They spent decades working to bring him back while also crafting the Final Order's massive fleet of Star Destroyers. So technology and the occult, kind of like, not really that informative, but it makes sense if you know anything about occult stuff. Okay, so they used, mystic stuff to bring him back. It makes sense, I guess, but it's like, couldn't you have taken 2 seconds to tell us how? Like, how did they get his body from the Death Star that blew up? It still doesn't answer much, but this is the best we're going to get, because according to another report, there's no deleted scenes involving him, which means there's going to be nothing in the movie that explains this. So you literally have to buy this visual novel to even find out how he built that fleet. You remember the Star Destroyers that just rise up from the water? Like, why are they underwater too? That's stupid. But apparently, among the Sith Eternal, they had shipwrights, engineers, and of course, people in servitude to build it. How'd they do that, you say? Well, good question. Through the power of the Sith Eternal, they were able to have parts smuggled to Exegol secretly in order to construct the fleet. The Rise of Skywalker didn't go into any of this. Of course it didn't. But it did show the crews of these new Star Destroyers, and they all looked rather young. It turns out these crews were made up from children from the Sith Eternal. That's right. There's enough people on that planet to feed and everything to pump out kids to man all of those ships. Right. The reason for these, the reason for the fleet and the Emperor coming back are just as stupid as the movie. And, of course, this was written by Pablo Hidalgo. I'm sure a lot of you know who he is. So there you go. That's the best explanation you're going to get. Too bad you've got to spend $30 or however much that book is if you want to know how he came back. And the big answer is the occult and technology. And they built the hundreds or thousands of Star Destroyers through the power of the Sith Eternal and smuggling parts. So if so many people were smuggling parts, shouldn't there have been more people to know how to get to Exegol? So stupid. This movie is ridiculous. Disney is ridiculous. And they're finally going to get dethroned this coming weekend by 1917. Another fun fact, this movie domestically is going to make less money than Rogue One, it sounds like. So the movie's actually doing better in other countries, I think. That's how they're raising a lot of this money. But domestically, Rise of Skywalker is down. It's like the core fan base, which was in the U.S., the big market, they're not really into these movies anymore, which I find absolutely hysterical. And Star Wars has been surpassed by Marvel. Marvel's the new Star Wars, unless they start screwing that up, which is possible. But I'm telling you, I've been calling it. They're going to apply the Marvel formula to Star Wars. The big rumor is that the movies are all going to be loosely connected now. Loosely connected, which means, they can still do something with that. They're still connected, but they're not. You don't need to see the other one. Like, they're going to somewhat do away with the trilogy format. And then I guarantee you they'll do some Avengers type movie. Watch. That's exactly what they're going to do. I could be wrong, but I mean, they've got a proven formula with Marvel that works. And it makes business sense. And it's also a lazy way to fix it, to just apply that formula to Star Wars. It's not like they're trying to tell much of a story anyway. So we'll see. That's pretty much it. A little shorter video. I just wanted to go over the stupid reasons for how they brought him back. Well, how they explained it, the lazy way they kind of shoehorn it in. And they shoehorn it in a companion book that you really kind of, I guess, have to buy if you're really into this movie and you want to understand it. Really stupid, man. Disney Star Wars is a joke. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. What do you think about how the Emperor came back? What do you think about Rise of Skywalker going down at the box office? I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Also, throw a like up. Remember, comments and likes help push videos in the algorithm, so they'd be much appreciated. Also, share the video. That would be very appreciated. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.